Yeah, no updates right now. I think I talked about after the season, what an impact he makes on our football team, on the offense in general. But as far as updates on contracts, no updates there.
What goes into sort of making a decision on whether you're going to franchise tag a player or enter into discussions about that?
Well, the cap has something to do with that, obviously. But it's as you talk about contract numbers and see where they are and trying to see if a deal can get done. If a deal can't get done, then sometimes you have to go that route. But it kind of all works together. Undetermined right now. We'll have time to work through those decisions moving forward.
Is retirement on the table?
That I don't know.
Tom, George Patton was talking earlier about beating the AFC West is really hard. Given the way your guys' season ended, what are you doing to focus both on the draft and free agencies to make sure you can take down a really rough division?
Yeah, it's a very, very difficult division. Obviously with Kansas City, with Andy Reid, Denver's really coming along. And now with Las Vegas, it's all turning over, but we saw with the talent they had last year. So, we got a lot of work to do, obviously. We didn't make the playoffs last year. We thought we had a good football team, but not good enough to make the playoffs, obviously. So just trying to continue to build around our quarterback on offense, protect the quarterback, get him some weapons. It sounds simple, but that's, kind of what it is right there. And then we have to make some bigger improvements on defense, which I think we will. I think we'll take some big strides with the second year with Brandon. Really confident in the staff, confident in the scheme and the system we're running, confident in the players we have, and then we'll see if we can add some players through free agency, through the draft, as we go through this offseason and get ready to go. But, yeah, it's a very difficult division.
With Mike, is your preference to extend it long term?
Sure, the preference would be that, sure.
And then with Brian, he's due a roster bonus March 20th, I think, so does that sort of expedite the process for you to make the decision?
Yeah, it's just undetermined right now, but we'll make that decision down the road.
Tom, how do you feel in terms of speed? You've got enough speed out there in the field on offense and wide receivers?
We could use a little more. You never turn speed down. Mike Williams was our big play threat last year and really through his career. Mike has good speed, especially for a bigger player. He gives us a vertical threat in a different way, just with his ball skills. And Jalen Guyton was really kind of that guy for us to stretch the field, but you can always need extra speed on the field on offense. Austin Eckler gives us that speed in the backfield, but you can never have enough of it.
Where are you at, if at all, in terms of extension talks with Derwin? Is that something you're hoping to get done this offseason, or is it something sort of down the road?
Yeah, like I said, most of the contract stuff, I just don't have a comment on contract plans right now.
You were talking about the division. What is it like to have two more John Kerry University alum in the division?
I told you, it's a difficult division. It's challenging. No, it's great for those guys. They're excellent at what they do. I wasn't in school at the same time that they were. We did not cross over, but I do know them, just from being in the NFL. Dave Ziegler is a really good guy. He's going to be an excellent GM, and we've seen what Josh can do. So it's great for the John Carroll Alumni Association. It's not great for the Los Angeles Chargers to have more John Carroll people with the Raiders because they have talent there. We can see that. So, but I'm proud of those guys and looking forward to competing with them.
Reflecting another John Carroll guy in this area, going to year two plans.
Mm-hmm.
How you know him and reflecting on your own year two? What's your
Nick was a freshman when I was a senior, so I did know him. Nick was a quarterback. I was a wide receiver. He was an outstanding quarterback, by the way. He doesn't need my advice of being a GM. I mean, he essentially was doing that job with New England, so I don't think this is new for him in Houston. He's one of the best backgrounds you'll see in our business because he's coached and he's been a general manager, which is really interesting. But he doesn't need any advice from me. He's going to do just fine. It's hard to know. I can only speak for me. The first year was a little bit of survival to kind of get everything the way you wanted it done, which you can't always do in the first year. The second year for me, things tend to slow down, had the process more in place, have the more people in place. I certainly learned how to delegate better the longer I've been in the job. I know when I was first hired, I felt like I had to do absolutely everything because they hired me to be the general manager, and I got better at delegating out to the people that we hired. We hired some really good people that are smart, dedicated, and kind of let them do their work. And I kind of learned that as I went through my second and third years. I still learn it today, probably.
Chris Harris is set to be a free agent. I guess what's the plan as far as addressing that?
Yes, with all of our guys, in terms of contract plans, it's just not something I'm going to talk about here today.
But just generally with the nickel position.
What was the question again?
The slot corner position.
Right.
Chris, just, I guess,
we don't open up until after Labor Day, so we got a lot of work to do through free agency and through the draft. So we'll kind of see how it plays out.
Where do you feel like you're at in terms of potential nickel players that are on the roster?
It doesn't really matter today. We still have free agency. We still have the draft. We still got ways to kind of add to the football team. So what I do know is that Asante can play inside and outside, which is a plus. Other than that, we have a lot to work out between now and training camp. He had his ups and downs. I think he knows that. I think he'll take another jump this year with this defense. Just not with this defense, but just trying to get involved with this new staff, learn it a little bit better. He's actually been in the building already working out, and this means a lot to him. So, yeah, we're expecting bigger things from Michael next year.
So many guys who are internal potential free agents. How important is the continuity or trying to keep some of these guys who've been in the system a year now? How does that factor in?
I mean, it factors in a little bit. I mean, you just can't bring everybody back all the time. We know that. I mean, our rosters change over almost 30% per year, so you're not going to be able to bring back 22 stars on both sides of the ball. Continuity is nice, but it can't be the number one aspect of putting both sides of the ball together. But we'll do the best we can. We have a lot of cap space this year, so we have to balance the players that we have that their contracts are expiring, how we can bring them back, but also look at from the outside of UFAs who we can bring in and how that's all going to work together. That's what we're still working on right now.
From your perspective as a general manager, what is the value of the scouting combine? This guy that college career will give you this game scouting. What is the true value?
It's still valuable. It's always been valuable to us. My first combine was 1995. I mean, it's changed a little bit. But essentially, all the measurements, the timing we do has stayed the same. The interviews have stayed the same. The medical process is relatively the same, which is really the most important part. So that's all very valuable. Now, how we watch it, has changed a lot. The caliber of the film that we get of the drills from the combine is probably a little more efficient just to watch it on film than to watch it live. That's probably changed a little bit for me. But as far as the players being here for the medical, for the testing, for the interviews, that's still very, very valuable to us.
You mentioned the cap space and also the competitiveness of the division. When you have a quarterback on the third year of his rookie deal and those factors of competitiveness and the money that's there, how does that change your perspective and how aggressive you're willing to be in an offseason to surround him with those weapons you allude to that you need to do in order to be more competitive?
Yeah. We try and be aggressive every year. It just depends what our resources are and what our circumstances are at that point. So you just have to attack it different ways. This year we can attack it a little bit differently because we do have a lot of cap space, and we do have a quarterback on a rookie deal. But the goal every year is the same. The goal is to challenge and to compete for a championship. But your circumstances change as far as cap space, as far as where your roster is, where your quarterback is. Do you have a quarterback? Do you not? So it's just different, but it doesn't change our goal to go win a championship.
But to put it in context by way of comparison 2 years past, where you had Tyrod with Bridge here, there you had Philip at the end, making the money that he was compared to Justin on a year 3 of rookie deals. With the cap space, does that allow for aggression by way of shorter term, higher dollar kind of deals?
We certainly have the space, whether it's for our players or for players from the outside. Yeah, and it's a nice resource to have right now.
Tom, there's a lot of edge depth in this draft, given the offensive prowess of the AFC West that you mentioned before. Is that something you guys are looking at especially, or are you expecting that to come over?
You can never have enough pass rushers. This is a pass rush and cover league, so I haven't worked through the whole draft yet. I have seen some edge rushers in this draft, so that's good to see. But they're a hot commodity because they're so hard to find, but they're very important.
Tom, you had mentioned Asante potentially moving inside. Just with the way he played out,
Well, I didn't say potentially moving inside. I said he could play either inside or outside, yeah.
with the way he played on the outside last year, is there any hesitancy just in terms of his development of having him go through a position change? Maybe being outside just to...
Yeah, I don't think so. I know I leave that up to Brandon wherever he feels Asante's best spot is. But it's comforting to know that, at least with me, I'm confident he can play wherever we need to play him. Yeah, I mean, I can't really go into scouting reports of these guys here. obviously that Georgia defense was really, really impressive. I mean, it could take you days to work through that tape of all the prospects they have. So we'll get a chance to see more of these guys here. But yeah, pretty impressive front.
Sorry, on the whole debate about taking an off on the first round, feel about that? Understanding that argument.
It depends what he can do. I mean, I don't know if we have to put labels on guys, but we'll see how it plays out.
How does it feel entering the draft knowing you already have your franchise quarterback? How do you look to build around?
Well, it feels really nice that we're not scouting these quarterbacks. I mean, we scout all these quarterbacks, even though we have one, but obviously it's a little bit different when you have Justin. So I sleep a little bit better at night. But like I said before, it's not rocket science. Like, we got to protect the quarterback and make sure he has enough weapons. And that's what we're going to do in the offseason. So the focus can't just be on one side of the ball. It's got to be on both. I want to make sure on offense we don't take a step back next year. I thought we had a really good year on offense. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was good. But we got to take another step up there on offense. But yeah, certainly, we're ecstatic with what Justin's done, and he's still very young. We still think he's going to get a lot better as well.
Are you guys going to pick up Jay Taylor's fifth-year option?
Like I said, all the contract plans I'll talk about down the road. It's not really for today.
Tom, there's so much at a combine, watching film, stats, reading scouting reports. Outside of that, what's your favorite part about being at the combine?
Favorite part of being at the combine? I lived here for 15 years, so it's nice. It's kind of like home a little bit, although it's changed the last 10. It's always great coming back to Indianapolis. The one thing I do like about the combine, and it really has nothing to do with the players working out, is, I'm around the coaches and the scouts really 24/7, and you talk football all day long. That's all you do. It's all we have time to do here. So you get really immersed in it, and it really does feel like the beginning. I know the official league year doesn't start until mid-March, but this feels like the official beginning of next season. So that's kind of, as far as actually watching the workouts, that's debatable for me. But as far as all the time drills, the measurements, the interviews, those are really, really important. And obviously which I don't see either, and you guys don't see it. That the medical portion of the combine is so important to every team that's here. And Indianapolis does a great job. I can't imagine the logistics that Jeff Foster goes here. I know a little bit just from living here, but the logistics of having these players see the doctors, get their MRIs, get the X-rays, and get that all done efficiently and in a short period of time is really impressive.
Tom, what did you see from Josh Palmer as a year?
Josh had a very nice year for us. He's a very mature player, both what he does on the field and off the field. He's a pro. Like, he really works at it. And you could see him come as probably about mid-season, him being more confident in what he was doing. And you could see Justin more confident in what Josh was doing. And Josh is an excellent route runner. He's got really nice size. He's got really good run-after-catch skills, strong hands. So I think he has a really bright future in this league.
Just as far as the tight end room, you've got some pretty significant development from those young guys, whether it's Donald or Trey, Steve Henry, as an unrestricted free agent. So just how do you feel about that room overall as you're moving into free agency and the draft?
Well, I like the young guys, and I like the roles they played. But obviously, it's probably a group we're going to have to add to some way, somehow, because that room is, it's a little small. If Jared Cook's not in there, which I don't know yet, but if he's not, we've got a void there. So, but I like the roles that those guys played. But it's also a room that's maybe not complete yet either.
The individual interviews that you do, how valuable are those? Because they're not very long, right?
No.
I mean, compared to if you get a guy later.
Yeah, it's less valuable than, say, if you get them on a Zoom for an extended amount of time, or if you can get them in person for an extended amount of time. It's only 18 to 20 minutes here. You can't figure a lot out in 18 to 20 minutes. You can get a feel for the player a little bit, but there's a wide range of things we do to try and get a feel for the player, and a lot of it's talking to people at their school that know that player really well. Whoever recruited them knows their family, have been with that player for 3 or 4 years on the college campus every day. Get a lot of information from there. It's hard to get a feel for a player in 18 to 20 minutes, and but we get a little bit of feel for their football knowledge, and we'll watch some tape with them. But it's a small part of the process.
Tom, a little bit off the topic of it seems like Cincinnati has a pull in Louisiana because of the players that they just recently got with Burrow and Chase, and they get marketed there now and here. What value do you see in as an organization that with Justin, your air, you have with a radio affiliate in Oregon, you have TV coverage up and down the West Coast because of your quarterback? what value does that bring to an organization?
You're probably asking the wrong guy when it comes to that. I didn't even know our games were on in Oregon. That's pretty cool. I have a big enough job right now trying to figure out, get us going on the field and compete with the AFC West. So I don't have a good answer for that.
Tom, as far as the football research department you built out over the last 3 years or so, hiring people in college, what do you feel like that department, those guys have added to the organization?
Oh, they've done a great job. The hardest part right now is we have so much work we'd like them to do, and they're so good at what they do, is trying to make sure they're going down the right path. But between the work they've done with coaching and game planning and putting reports together, what they've done on the personnel side, what they've done on sports performance, been really, really big for us. And it's gotten better every year. And those are two really, really sharp guys, and excited about it. What was the question again?
From in terms of numbers here for coaches,
right?
Is it full team out here, or did it change in the last couple years?
It's a full out here.
Just as far as this second running back spot, obviously Justin's going to be a free agent.
Right.
He's been productive. He's been on the field. Some injuries. Josh and Larry, obviously young. We haven't seen their full potential yet. But just as far as finding a reliable option behind Austin, I guess what's the strategy there? Would you look for another young player to throw in the mix there? Would you look for more, maybe a veteran player that has proven to be reliable, that can stay in the field, that can take some of the load off Austin? What sort of strategy?
Well, it's if we want our offense to evolve and continue to get better, we have to get better in that spot. So wherever that comes from, that remains to be seen. But we need to get more from that spot, and it could be from someone currently on the team, and it may not be, maybe a free agent, it could be a draft pick, it could be anything. We need more. If we want our offense to really evolve to what it can be, we need a little bit more from that spot.
I have time for 2 more questions.
On the interior defensive line, is that a position you've kind of seen might have a little more value given the defensive scheme and actually kind of play some of those lighter boxes for linebackers? So is that just a position you've seen in this defense?
It's different value, but it's not bigger value, because no matter what front you play, that your front drives a lot of what you do, both in pass rush and with the run game. So now the defense you play will change a little bit of the type of player you have up front, but no, it's just as valuable. I mean, everything starts up front. It starts rushing the passer, and you can't get to third down or third and long as if you can stop the runner early, if teams run it early.
We have a new special teams coordinator, and Ryan, Dustin and Andre are both free agents. Ty is a restricted free agent. Just with the new special teams coordinator coming in, would you expect turnover there so Ryan can bring in his guys, or would you expect continuity, sort of what?
Yeah, I don't look at it as someone bringing in their own guys, but like you said, we've got a kicker who's a free agent, long snapper's a free agent. Ty, the punter, is restricted. Our kick returner is a free agent. Our best gunner last year is a free agent, so we've got some work to do, obviously, just with those positions. And I rely a lot on our special teams coaches to help with that, because I just feel like, in terms of really evaluating specialists, they do this every day, and they're really good at it, and they have a network of people. So he's going to be a big part of us, whether it's continuity from what we have to what he sees on the outside. So I'm looking forward to working with him. I've worked with him a little bit already in the last couple of weeks. I've been impressed with what I've seen, and I think he's a good evaluator too. But yeah, we've got a lot of work there to do, because those players just mentioned, they're all, other than Ty, they're really all free agents.
Ryan
Ryan Smith, yeah, sorry.